Hello, everyone, and welcome back to American Ultras Talk. The USA U23s kick off their Olympics campaign against the host nation France tomorrow. So I'm here today to, of course, preview that game, give you all the info that you need to know heading into our crucial game that will kick off a campaign that hopefully will end in a gold medal. Now, just before we start into this, a couple announcements quickly. First one about the game, you can watch it tomorrow at, I believe, 3 p.m. Eastern on USA Network, Telemundo if you want Spanish commentary, or the streaming service Peacock. Three different options, one just as good as the other, to watch the game, watch our boys take on probably the best team in the tournament, France. So make sure to tune in for that one. Now, two other quick announcements before we get into the breakdown and the preview of the game. One, just a PSA, Yuri is still part of the channel and he will be back soon. He just won't be appearing in as many videos as usual over the next couple of weeks, just due to some scheduling conflicts. However, he will for sure be in a very special video that's coming out this weekend and some other big ones. But in particular, stay tuned for our video coming out this weekend. You're not going to want to miss it. But until then, you're stuck with just me for the majority of the Olympics content and the U20 content, which I've been doing for a while now since the tournament did start last week. So make sure to stay tuned for all of those videos, all the future Olympic videos. And without further ado, wait, actually, no, that's a false alarm. One more announcement, our Copa America giveaway. We were reminded in the comments by a couple of people. Thank you for that. Obviously, the Copa America predictions challenge that we have, it is done. We have a winner. That winner is Nessuno. Now, we did already announce this in a pinned comment of a previous video. However, since we didn't say it in a video yet, we will give you Nessuno until the end of today to claim your prize. If you don't, then we will give it to second place, which was Gus Hibbolt. I know, a regular viewer and commenter on the channel. So congratulations to Nessuno for getting first. Congratulations to Gus for getting second. Nessuno, you have until the end of today to claim your prize. If not, Gus Hibbolt, over to you. It's on you. You will win the signed jersey that is given to the winner of the giveaway. But with all of those announcements out of the way, let's get on to the preview of the game. And I think the perfect place to start is with the predicted lineup. Now, me and Yuri did both give our predicted lineups for the tournament in general, for our first choice teams in our Olympics preview of the entire tournament that came out a couple of days ago. So if you haven't watched that already, make sure to watch that. It had both of us in it, and I thought it was a pretty solid preview of the whole tournament. So make sure to check that out before the tournament does kick off later today. I do think that for our preferred lineup, Coach Marko Mitrovic will do something like this. In goal, Patrick Schulte from the Columbus Crew. He's been giving the number 1, and he's been the first choice option the entire cycle. At right back, Nathan Harriel, pretty simple. He's the only true right back in the roster, and the only one who really has much experience playing there in general. Center back duo is also very straightforward. Walker Zimmerman and Miles Robinson, the two of the 3 overage players for us at this tournament. Zimmerman's probably going to be one of the captains alongside Tanner Tessman. It makes the most sense for them to start at center backs. Left back is going to be John Tolkien. He is given the number 5 instead of Caleb Wiley, who is given a higher number. Wiley can also provide depth at the wing position off the bench. He's a versatile super sub to have. It will, I believe, be John Tolkien to close out the defense in this game. Now into the midfield, I believe it will be the Venezia boys, Tanner Tessman and Gianluca Busio, hopefully continuing their great chemistry at club level over to the national team level here in this game, alongside the third and final overage player, Georgi Mihailovic. Now, I know there's going to be some claims for Georgie to be on the bench. We have a lot of other options in that position. Even if you want to go with a more traditional center midfielder like Jack McGlynn, or if you want to go with a cam like Brendan Aronson, Taylor Booth. But let's face it, you don't bring overage players to this tournament to have them sit on the bench. Georgie is going to be one of our most crucial players in this tournament. He will start. Then for the wingers, I said this in our Olympics preview video as well. We have 2 types of wingers. We have 4 wingers in total. 2 of them are the more of a 10 that are playing out wide, Taylor Booth and Paxton Aronson. The other 2 are more traditional, pacey, quick wingers in Griffin Yao and Kevin Paredes. I think one of the pacey ones, I think Griffin Yao, will be starting on the left, and then one of the more traditional 10s, in this case Taylor Booth is my prediction, will be starting on the right. Now, if I were to pick the starting lineup, That 11 is what I think Marko Mitrovic, the head coach, will do. If I were picking the team, I would go for Patrick Schulte, Nathan Harriel, Walker Zimmerman, Miles Robinson, John Tolkien. Same defense, same goalkeeper. In the midfield, I would go a little bit different. I'd go for Tessman and Busio just because they do have the club chemistry, and I trust Busio a little bit more than McGlynn to do the defensive work, because I think without a true defensive guy in there with Tessman, not that Busio is that, but I don't want to leave Tessman on an island by himself, especially since we will probably be playing with a 10. It will be Georgie, but I would like to see it be Paxton Aronson. I think he's a better player. He's proved that in the Eredivisie, and he obviously has a lot more potential. This tournament's about the young guys. I'd rather give him a chance than see Georgie again, but it won't be. Then for the forwards, I would go for Griffin Yao, Duncan Maguire, who I think I actually forgot to mention would be the preferred striker for Mitrovic. He's the only striker on this roster. He's going to start. And then Kevin Paredes on the left. I'd go with both of that traditional wingers. I don't think that's the case, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I could be very wrong about my predictions for the lineup. Now, let's get into covering a couple of the key players for our opposition, because, of course, as we know, France have one of the most stacked rosters, probably the most stacked roster in this entire tournament, so there's a lot to look out for. 7 of their starters from when we played them in March, back when we played them in France, actually, drew them 2-2. Great result, probably the best one of the cycle for this team so far. 7 of their starters from that game are on the main roster, including one of the goal scorers from that game, Arnaud Kalamwendo, and the other goal scorer from that game, Andy Diouf, is an alternate. So a lot of the team that was there is also going to be here at the Olympics, with some other notable additions. The main ones to watch out for are in their attack. I mean, we know they're stacked at every position level, but the real firepower is in the attack, led by overage strikers Alexander Lacazette from Lyon, who has 53 goals for the club over 2 seasons only since rejoining them from after successful stints at other clubs such as Arsenal. And of course, Jean-Philippe Mateta, the other one from Crystal Palace, the most informed striker in the entire Premier League at the end of last season, scoring 9 goals in the final 6 games. Both of them are going to be an absolute force for our center backs to deal with. And of course, they also have the electric winger, Mateta's former teammate now, Michael Olise, who had lit up the Prem with Palace since he signed for them, got 10 goals and 6 assists in only 19 games last season despite battling injuries, and did enough to earn himself a move to Bayern Munich, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Adding names like those to Ryan Cherki, Arnaud Kalamwendo to support them in the attack, Magnus Akliush, Manu Kone, Desiree Doué in the midfield, and a solid defensive core of Castello Luqueba, Luc Badet, and Kylian Sildilia, along with so many other players. It's looking very scary, and it is a very formidable opponent to come against. Now let's get into the importance of the game. I think that getting off to a successful start to these Olympics could be very crucial for our performance in the rest of the tournament. Now, a win isn't necessary in this game because everyone expects France to top this group. I think basically everyone expects them to win gold in the entire tournament. So it's basically a free hit. We can play without pressure and without any expectations of getting a result. However, a good performance is necessary, because if we have a bad performance, it could lead to us being demoralized and then potentially falling into a shock defeat or a shock draw against New Zealand in the second game, who are probably the worst team in the group, and then we could be in real trouble going into the final group game against Guinea. Those latter 2 games will decide our fate. This one's just a free hit. Go out there with no pressure, have a good performance, put up a good fight against probably the best team in the tournament. If we get a result, a win or a draw, excellent. If we don't, it's not the end of the world. As long as the performances are there, the spirits are high, and the intensity is at an all-time high going into the final 2 games of the tournament. Now, with all of that being said, let's get into the most important part of the video and the most exciting part, the final score prediction. I do have faith in the boys to put on a good showing, and we've already proven that we can hang with this France team when we saw them play it against us in March in France, drew them 2-2 as I mentioned. Although in this tournament, I do think ultimately the home field advantage combined with all their star quality and the motivation to win gold at home, it's just going to prove too much for the USA defense in particular. And I do think we will end up losing this game 3-1. Both of their overage strikers will get on the score sheet, one for Lacazette, one for Mateta, along with, I'll say, Magnus Akliush from Monaco, Balogun's teammate at club level, will get on the score sheet as well from midfield. And Michael Olise, of course, their main playmaker on the wing, he'll get at least 1 assist, probably 2 in this game. For our goal, I think it'll come late in the second half. Jack McGlynn to Duncan McGuire. Excellent ball from McGlynn coming in. McGuire gets a head on it. He's really the only aerial threat that we have in terms of the forward line. Obviously, we have our center backs that can come up on set pieces, but in terms of the run of open play, it's really only McGuire. Whether he'll be on the pitch towards the end of the game, who knows? Mitrovic might think it's not working with him, which is a distinct possibility based on how he looked in the friendly against France in March, and try something new, maybe Paxton Aronson at the false nine, which he's done several times for the youth teams in the past. That's where he played in qualifying for this tournament back in 2022 in the CONCACAF U20 Championship, where he was excellent in that tournament, winning the Golden Boot and Golden Ball. It's certainly a possibility, but I think it'll be McGlynn to McGuire for our goal. McGuire did also already score against Paraguay in a tune-up friendly behind closed doors in the lead up in this tournament. So I think he's in decent form coming into it. He'll get a goal, but ultimately it will not be enough. We're going to lose 3-1, unfortunately, but I do think it will be a valiant effort, just like it was against France in the previous game. I think a lot of people maybe forget that we were down 2-0 until the very end of the game. Heroic comeback to end up drawing 2-2, but ultimately in the final 10 minutes or so of that game, the first 80 minutes, we were down 2-0. So I think a 2-goal scoreline is more than fair in this game. That's what I'm going to end up going with. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know. Do you disagree with my 3-1 prediction? Do you agree with it? What do you think the score prediction will be? Who do you think will start for the USA? Who are you most afraid of facing for the French team? Who's going to get on the score sheet? Who's going to get the points? Who's going to get the job done? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of these solo style videos. Like I said in the intro, you kind of stuck with me for the most part, since Yuri has a little bit of a scheduling conflict, but never fear, he will be back sooner rather than later. And of course, stay tuned for our huge video coming out on the weekend. Trust me, it's not going to be one you're going to want to miss. A big potential collab coming with one of the biggest names in the game. So stay tuned for that. Let me know in the comments, of course, your thoughts on this video, predictions for the game. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. It means a lot to the channel, helps us out a ton with the algorithm. So please do that if you enjoy the video and want to support us. We'll see you next time.